What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy Ralph the Trader back again with another GBP USD weekly breakdown. All right, this is another GBP USD weekly trade breakdown, man, for you guys. Um, if you're new to the channel, man, hey, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell notification for you, boy. I really appreciate it. All right. So my previous videos, man, I wanted to share something with you guys that I used to do when I had a mentor. This is something that he had showed us, and I wasn't doing it. I had stopped doing it, but now I started back really doing it. So what it is basically I have this indicator that gives me the previous week high and low. All right, it gives me the previous week high and low. Like I said, I use the MetaTrader 4. So if you use the MetaTrader 4, all you have to do if you want this here, all you have to do is come to your terminal and come down here to code base, and it will be inside of code base. All right, it will be inside of the code base department, and what it's going to say is this right here. It's going to say you're looking for this day, week, high, low. All right, this is what it's going to say. All right, so that's what it is you're looking for. And the reason and also, man, you can also do this manually. You know what I mean? Go and find the high of the week, the low of the week. You can do this manually as well. But the reason I like to use the indicator is because I don't have to manually go in and do this every week. Next week, it just pops up. You know what I mean? It just goes right to where that high and that low was. Okay. So that's why I like to use that indicator. But also what I like to do with this indicator as well is I like to find, like my mentor had showed me when I was in this mentorship, and it really works. I like to find 50% of that move. All right. 50% of that move from last week. So basically all you're going to do is you're going to take your fib and just go from the low to the high or the high to the low. It doesn't matter. And all you want to do is mark off the 50%. All right. So as you can see, the yellow line, this yellow horizontal line, that's the 50% of the move from last week. All right. That's 50% of that move from last week. So now we're going to get into this breakdown, and I'm going to show you guys how this thing really works, man, and it really helps. All right. So as you can see, when the market opened up on Sunday, doing Asian session, we did make a nice move for the buy. We came right up to that 50%, came back, and we made a pullback, and we took off again. All right. Then we broke above that 50%, and we broke above that 750 level, which I told you guys is a nice level that price likes to reject off of. You know what I'm saying? So we did get a rejection off of that, and then we pulled back. And like we say, we pulled back from that level, and we made a nice little move again during the Asian session. But you know, for me, my session that I trade is London and New York. Okay. So as you guys can see, price did break above that 50%, and it broke above that 750 level, came back, gave you a nice retest right here, nice pin bar. This is a nice entry for you right here. If you know how to read candlesticks, and I advise you guys, you're a price action trader, you have to know how to read candlesticks. You have to know how to read candlesticks. So this is a nice pin bar. You know, some people, they call it a hammer. You know what I mean? Inverted hammer. You know what I mean? Pin bar, inverted hammer, same thing. But what it's showing you is that prices, sellers are weakening in the market right here. This long push back up, sellers are weak in the market. You still have sellers in the market, but they're weak. All right. But this is a nice pin bar giving you an indication that we're about to shoot up. And as you can see, the price did shoot up. And this is a nice little move you could have taken right here. This could have got you a good 18, 20, you know what I mean? That's about 20 some pips. Take an entry here, stop losses X structure. All right. So you're good. And as you look to your left, you already know that the far as you really could have took this trade was to this point, because we did have some resistance here on Friday. All right. But for me, this was the move right here. This right here was the move, this sell. Okay. So we broke above, we came back, and as you can see, price starts stalling out at this area. We got this nice tweezer top pattern right here. Got this nice tweezer top. And if you're on MT4 like I am, you want to know, you know what I mean, if you have a tweezer top pattern, you could just come to the data window here, and I just hover over the counter, and I just look at the low. All right. And I don't worry about the number before the decimal or the pipette number. All right. I just worry about the three numbers in the middle. So as you can see, the three numbers in the middle of this candlestick is 779. And then the three numbers on this one here is 378. All right, so that's close enough for me. And that's close enough for me for a tweezer. It's not going to be perfect, but that's close enough. So for me, the entry for me for a tweezer top, for tweezer tops, I take an entry here, and I'm just riding all the way back down. All right, I get my 10, I secure my 10 pips, and if the trade is continuing to go, then I just continue to let the trade go. And as you can see, that was a 36 pip move. Stop loss is based off structure. So there's an 11 pip stop loss to gain 37 pips. And there you have it. All right, you're done. But as you can see, price be respecting that 50%. And one thing I noticed, and I know with my mentor, is when price is at that 50%. So once price broke above the 50%, now I was really looking for price. If we got a nice another break and retest to continue for the buy, I'm looking for price to go and test that high. All right, but we didn't get that. And plus, it was on a Monday. You know what I mean? So you really don't know what the market is really going to do until like maybe a Tuesday. All right, so now going into Tuesday, we had the nice little move. Then we started accumulating. We're right at that 50%, and we're right at that 750 level. As you can see, we're just accumulating, consolidating. Now, some people say consolidating. It's the same thing. Accumulation, consolidation, same thing. All right. So as you can see, we're doing agent session. We're just accumulating, sitting at that 50%, and you're just waiting on your move. All right, you're just waiting on your move. And as you can see, as we was consolidating in this area, we did make a double bottom down here. We did make a little W down here. Price came down, price came up, price came back down, gave you this nice engulfing. You could have took an entry here and caught these pips right here, or you could have just, you know what I mean, been patient. If you don't know how to trade double top, double bottoms, if you didn't see this, this was a nice little entry you could have caught here for a nice little 22 pips. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good little move. But if you didn't see this and you just trade, you know, break and retest, here it is. Okay, we got to break above that 50%, and we got to break above that 750 level. Price came back, gave you a nice little, we closed above, price came back, closed below both of them, gave you this nice little bearish retest right here. Next candlestick opened up, created a tweezer bottom pattern right here. This is a tweezer bottom. This is a indication. This is a bullish tweezer bottom. That's why I tell you guys, study candlestick patterns, man. You can get in trades early, all right? Or you can drop down to the 15-minute time frame to see if you got an engulfing. If that's the only candlestick pattern that you know, it's engulfing candlestick, drop down to the 15-minute, all right? But we got a nice tweezer bottom pattern right here. And for me, trading tweezer bottom patterns, this would have been my I'd have waited for the pullback of the next candle. That's what I usually do. I wait for with GBP USD, I know it tends to like to give a pullback. All right. So I usually wait to get a 50% pullback just to see how far the candlestick is going to pull back. And once it start rising back up, then I take an entry. And for me, trading tweezer tops, my stop loss is always below the low of those candles. Or if you want, you can put your stop loss here. It really don't matter. But I always put mine here because I'm trading, you know, a tweezer bottom pattern. All right. So as price continues to move up, then I will take the entry. And as you guys can see, once we broke above that 50%, we're looking to go and test this high, guys. Right? We're looking to go and test this high. And as you can see, price came. We didn't break the high, but we came right up there close to that high. All right. Once you break above that 50% and we continue to go, we're looking to go reach that high to create a new high. All right. So we didn't make it there. All right. Then we got rejection. We got a rejection at this QP level, the 250 level, rejection. You know what I'm saying? You got 1, 2, 3 rejections, 3 rejections. All right. So if you miss this move and you trade the New York session, this was your move. All right. This was your move. You got 1, 2, 3 rejections. You know what I mean? If experienced trader, they'll probably hop in here. But if you're a new beginner trader and you trade break and retest, just wait for your setup. That's it. Wait for your setup. All right. So as you can see, we did come down. We closed above. We closed above the 000 level. We closed above, came back. You got a nice little retest, but you didn't get any confirmation here to let you enter the trade. All right. There's no confirmation for me. There's no confirmation. All right. So I'm still just waiting. All right. So now price came down, made this low, pull back up. All right, I'm still below. So I'm still waiting. I'm still in the game. All right. So Now you got a high, you got a low. Now, if you want to pull out your fib, you know what I mean, to give you some extra confirmation, all right? See how far of a retracement you're gonna get. You pull your fib out from the high to the low, all right? You got a 37.5% retracement, and you still got a retracement at your resistance. You got a nice engulfing. Here's your entry. Here's your entry. This is your entry right here. And as you can see, this is your entry. You dealt with 3 pips worth of drawdown, and you caught a nice 30 pips. Nice little 30 pips right here. Okay, so that was your move. All right, now let's go into Wednesday. Now we're back below that 50%. We're back below that 50%, and we're just accumulating. So now that we are ready, on Tuesday, we went and tested that high, and we came back below that 50%. So now, once we're back below that 50%, where do you think we're finna go? We're finna go and try to test that low. Okay, we're going to test that low. So we're accumulating, and where we back to same place we was on Sunday. We're accumulating at that 50%, and we're just accumulating at the 750 level, which is a level that I noticed that I told you guys that price loves to reject that. So we're accumulating. Price came down, so it did make a nice little M here. If you don't see it, you go to the line chart right here. You see, you made a nice little M. Price came up, came down, came up. All right. So this came down here, and price came back. And normally, like for me, what I like to do is I like to wait to get a retest back to the neckline of that M. That is the move. All right. You got the M, come back and look at here. You got the retest, and now you know what I mean, you take the trade. All right. So here it is. Price came up, price came down, price came up. Some people, you know what I mean, you can take this entry here. I'm not saying you can't, you know what I mean, just have your stop loss short because you got all this rejection here. So you can take an entry here. You know what I mean? Stop loss is just, set your stop loss somewhere, you know what I mean, so that you don't get stopped out. So if you want, you just set your stop loss back to that next resistance area. Okay, so you can set your stop loss here, take an entry here, and as you can see, price did come back. And like I say, for me, I like to wait on the retest. Price did come, shot down, came back, gave you a nice retest, came back, gave you engulfing, and this is the entry. All right, so I wait to price. So you, like I said, price came back, retested, gave you this engulfing pattern, letting you know this is your confirmation to enter the trade. Next candlestick, you enter in on here. Like I told you guys, I like to wait until price give me that pullback. I like to see how far it's going to pull back. Once I see the pullback, price starts to come back my way, then I just take the trade. As you can see, once we entered to the new zone, of course, we did break that low of the previous day. So we entered into a new zone and we broke below that low of the previous day. So of course, we was going to get a little bit of pullback. You know what I'm saying? We was going to get a little bit of pullback, and then we came down and we made our move. All right, that was a 49 pip drop. All right, and as you can see, where the price go, you know what I mean, if you wanted to hold it till it got to that low of the week, as you can see, price came down, tested that low of the week, came back, gave you a nice little tweezer bottom pattern right here. Could have took an entry here, you know what I'm saying? But price did make an M here. Price came up, came down, shot back up, shot right back down. All right. But this was the move right here. This was your move. But these were some little scalps. You know what I mean? If you like to just sit in the market and scalp all day, but this was the move. All right. Now going into Thursday. I just remember we just came off of testing that low. And what do? We start going back into accumulation. We're accumulating. So now we just patiently waiting. All right. So price came up, hit this resistance, came back, gave you a nice little retest. You know what I'm saying? You could have got this engulfing candlestick right here. All right. You could have took an entry here. And of course, you already know price is going to go up to that 50%. That was a move that happened during London session. But if you didn't see that, you know what I mean, you weren't going to catch it. All right. And then as you can see, we just came back, man, and we just started accumulating. And now we into New York session. Price came, gave you this nice little pullback down here. And as you can see, we did have a break of structure right here. So now once you see that break of structure, you take your fib from that high to that low, see what type of retracement you got. Okay, you came back to that 75%. You got a nice engulfing. Here's your entry. Your entry is here. Take it on up. Okay. You dealt with, came back and had a little bit of 3-pip drawdown. All right. So that's nothing because your stop loss is down here based off structure. So you take your entry here. And as you already know, we're going to try to test that high again. All right. But since we already moved so far up to that high, more than likely, price is not going to come back and test this high. It's not going to come back and make it up to that high. You know what I mean? It can, but more than likely it's not. Okay. So this is the farthest we got to getting up there to that high. And this was your move right here. So like I said, you take that entry and you got a nice 55 pip move. So every day we had a move so far and we're above that 50%. All right. And we didn't make it back up to that high. So we did not create a new high of the week so far. So we come back and we start accumulating, and where we end up at. We're right back at that 000 level, 1.38 000. All right. We're just accumulating at this area. And as you can see, price came down, gave you this nice little, not a really a nice little move, but you know what I mean? You wanted to, you could have caught this little drop right here. You know what I mean? Once price got back up here, we just bouncing. You know, price is going from support to resistance. All right. And you just getting all this rejection to get you a little smaller lot size, and you already know you're gonna come right back to that 50%. All right. So, but as you can see, price came down to the 50%, shot back up, gave you a nice little M right up in here. All right. Price came up, price came down, price came back up, price came down. All right. So now you're just looking to test this point, you know what I mean? This point of the M. So as you can see, price came down. This candlestick right here came back, gave you that nice little retest, gave you that retest of that neckline of the M. All right. Now you can take your entry. Once price start coming back your way, you take your entry. Now we broke below that 50%. We broke below that 750 level, which is a level that price likes to reject that. You come into a whole new zone, price comebacks, give you this pullback right here. Now you got to pull back up to 50%, and you got to pull back up that 750%. All right. So if you then take the move here, this was your move right here. This was your entry. This candlestick right here was your entry. You got to break, you got to retest. You got to break, you got to retest. This candle, engulf this candle. This is your entry right here. And as you already know, we coming down to that weekly. All right. We coming to the weekly, and we broke below the weekly, closed below the weekly, came back, gave you another retest. If you didn't catch this, you could have caught this little move down here. You know what I mean? And as you can see, man, that whole day for Friday was 100 pip move, man, 117 pip move. But that's the breakdown, you guys, for GBP USD for the week. And like I say, man, if you want to incorporate that daily high, that weekly high low, and mark off that 50%, as you can see, just use that 50% as a guide. I'm not saying that it's 100%, you know what I mean, but you can use it as a guide to know way the market is about to head at. Because like I say, once you see price break above the 50%, more than likely it wants to go back and test that high. If it breaks below the 50%, more than likely it's going to test that low. But once it breaks above or below, you want to get a retest. Don't just hop in because it broke above the 50 or below the 50%. When you get to that point, make sure you get a break and a retest. All right. Make sure you get that break and retest, man. All right. This is your boy, man, ralphdatrader, man, with this GBP USD trade breakdown for the week. If you enjoyed this video, hey, give me a thumbs up, man. Also, if anybody need any assistance with their trading, man, just reach out to me on leave a comment down below, or email me at ralphdatrader@gmail.com, or just hit me up on DM me on IG. All right. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and let's get to this bag, man. Let's get to this bag. All right.